Digital acceleration is here. Health systems are walking the path, but are they in the right direction? Welcome to Patient Journey Pioneers, roadmaps from the top digital leaders in healthcare, who share insights and strategies that are pushing the patient journey to new heights. This podcast is brought to you by Hyro, and I'm your host, Liat Kozuch. And I want to welcome everyone to a very special pre-ViVE episode of Patient Journey Pioneers. This is actually part 2 of a 3-part mini-series covering every aspect of one of the most important digital health events of the year. Today, I'm so honored to host Nancy Mastroianni, Head of Growth, and Jody Tropiano, Head of Content at ViVE. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Judy.
How's it going?
How are you? So I'm good. I'm really excited for Nashville. I'm like, oh my God, what do I pack? There's so much going on, but we're definitely going to be unpacking everything today. We're going to ask you some inside scoop questions. I'm going to start with you, Jody. Tell us a bit about your role as head of content at ViVE. What is something super interesting that you've noticed this year in the digital healthcare ecosystem in ViVE specifically?
Yes, and first I'll say pack comfortable shoes. That's Nancy and I's advice to everyone always. Yeah. So my role as the head of content really is to develop the agenda for the year for each our ViVE and our health event. So to make sure we're incorporating all of the top trends, the most, impactful speakers, and do it in a fun, interactive format. So that's my marching orders each year. And, we try to kind of top ourselves year over year. And I'm really proud of the agenda we put together for this year in Nashville. I guess a few topics that come to mind that I've been hearing a lot about, and we're actually in the midst right now of doing our prep call. So I'm kind of getting a behind the scenes look at what the sessions will be like. But I'm hearing a lot about interoperability, obviously is such a big buzzword, but speakers are trying to really dissect the word even further. Like, what does it mean past just being a buzzword? What is the true business case for interoperability? How far up the executive's priority list is it really, or is it just kind of a nice to have, not a need to have? So I think we'll hear a lot about that. AI, ChatGPT is obviously a big buzzword right now. We will have a whole AI showcase on Wednesday in the morning. It's a can't miss session. There'll be a series of 6 presentations of very specific use cases of AI in healthcare, and ChatGPT generative AI is one of them. So please mark your calendar to attend that session. Another one is price transparency. That's come up in pretty much every prep call we've been having so far. We're covering it in 2 ways. So both drug price transparency and hospital price transparency. And I think you'll hear it come up in pretty much every session, and how the different players in the industry are tackling this massive problem. And then also consumerism and health. It's a topic we cover at the health event, but it also is very much a part of our ViVE agenda. And one of our speakers put it, I think, brilliantly. I wrote this down and it's kind of burned in my brain now. Really the idea of, will healthcare organizations figure out consumerism first, or will consumer organizations figure out healthcare first? And that's really the big question. I hope we get some answers in Nashville.
I love that. And your lineup of speakers is amazing. Part of this mini series, I've got you guys. I've got 2 other speakers. Sarah from Providence, Michael Archuleta from Mount St. Raphael. They both are, speaking at ViVE, and I'm marking my calendars, even though I feel like it's so hard to mark calendars during this event. And as I said, we're going to be unpacking kind of like the top things to not miss at ViVE. So thank you for that, Jody. And Nancy, what, in your opinion, sets ViVE apart from other digital healthcare conferences? I know last year was ViVE's first time. You guys killed it, like became the new cool kid on the block type of thing. Really amazing job. And this is your second time around. So what is something special? How do you guys strive to basically deliver value to attendees and exhibitors this year?
I think there's a couple of things, one of which we're super excited about year 2. I mean, obviously, when you're working on a launch of a community, it can be very unpredictable and challenging to know where you're going to land. And it's an ever-changing conversation until you actually deliver the end result. So coming into year 2, I mean, we were thrilled with year 1. We have a great partnership with Chime regarding their, sort of the Association of the CIOs of Healthcare Systems. That has continued to evolve. I think from an event perspective, we really focus on the experience. And that means everything from a standout C-suite executive community and ensuring that people get something back that they don't otherwise expect from other events. And that can be everything from the branding, the experience, the incredible networking, meals built in, sort of like you're constantly connecting with people and you don't even really realize it's happening. And we really want to provide a platform to facilitate that. And I think we do a really good job with that, both in the in-person journey and then also, we provide a lot of digital tools that work really well. If you're coming to ViVE and I'm coming to ViVE and Jody's coming to ViVE, we can connect together. We can set a time together. We can meet and have conversations. We facilitate that through things like the digital app. We have our meetings between our investors and startups through our Funding Founders program. We also facilitate meetings between our sponsors and buyers through our hosted buyer program. So we curate a lot of those conversations, and those conversations really become, I think, the game changer as far as people, the value they give back. And we really legitimately screen, like if someone is not a fit for the event, we politely decline them. We want to make sure that there's meaningful people there. We're not interested in just opening the doors up for tire kickers. It just is not our style. And we want to really drive value in the experience people get at both ViVE
and the way that you also brought in that natural vibe into the marketing and the content. Kudos to Jody as well with the songs and the vibe. I love it. Jody, I'm going back to you. I'm getting a lot of emails around Techquity. How will we see Techquity be brought to the table at ViVE?
Yes. And Techquity stands for Tech Equity for anyone who isn't aware. And it's really our portion of the agenda that's put on by the Health Foundation, which is our nonprofit arm of health. And really, it's sessions that are making sure that as we integrate more tech-based solutions into healthcare, that we're not leaving people behind and broadening the digital divide. So we'll have a series of sessions on our Techquity stage. It's a pavilion inside of ViVE Central. So when you look at the show floor, make sure you hit ViVE Central. There's a lot going on in there. So the sessions are in a more intimate setting and they cover a variety of topics in that Techquity theme. So we'll have sessions like purposeful data sharing, how to address language barriers. We'll talk about the state of the Black healthcare workforce, LGBTQ inequities in care. So the list goes on. There really can't miss sessions. And we'll also host a series of affinity networking receptions in that space. We'll also have a series of affinity networking receptions in the Techquity Pavilion. So we'll have Pride at ViVE, Black at ViVE, and Latino at ViVE. So check our agenda for the times of those receptions as well as the Techquity sessions.
Amazing. And when it comes to schedule, we will be receiving access to the app, I believe, on March 9th. So this would probably be already in the past when people hear this. So March 9th, we get the access to the digital app, and that's where there's kind of going to be a curated schedule for each attendee exhibitor, I assume.
Yep. People can go in, they could do a couple different things. They can obviously sort of favor certain things on the agenda. They can network, and that's where you can network and schedule meetings. Each sponsor has a profile in the digital app. We highlight the Tech Talk schedule. Pretty much everything's in there. The Techquity programming, everything you could think of that's happening at ViVE is going to be on that agenda, and you can favorite, you can really navigate it. It's for all registered attendees of the event. And one other thing that I think is a great value add is we record almost all of our content. So if you miss a session, it's sort of the dilemma. I'm always a multitasker. I want to be in multiple places at once. We're recording a session. Generally, it will post on the platform within about 24 hours. So it's not real-time streaming, but we do make it available, and we leave the platform open a couple months so people can kind of come back and watch on demand for anything that they might have missed or something they want to watch again.
It's like healthcare Netflix.
That's right. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Pop the popcorn, get ready to rewatch everything that I missed. That's for sure. Hosted buyer meeting. Will that be coordinated on the app as well?
There's a special platform for anybody who's in hosted buyer. They would give discrete access. So it sort of sits outside the traditional app, although you can connect to it. So the hosted buyer platform is where hey, I'm a sponsor and I'd like to meet with C-level decision makers. And it curates a double opt-in matchmaking. So I'm selling apples, you're buying apples, just to simplify the whole thing. But again, we both have to agree to the meeting. So those people who are designated for that program got special access to the platform last week.
Got it. Great. Okay. Well, let's dive into kind of the main purpose of this episode, which is, I'm going to start with you, Nancy. Can you summarize the top 5 things we should all be looking forward to at ViVE 2023?
For me, it's, number one to me is always networking and connecting with the people who are there. I think it is the most valuable opportunity. And because we curate the content and everything on the show floor, it's really easy to stay connected to people. I think you should really attend the evening events. There's lots of opportunities to keep it social and keep that engaging. Visit the show floor. There's an incredible innovation. The floor is completely sold out. I think there is literally one spot left. No exaggeration.
No, it's all gray. It is all grayed out, meaning sold out.
It's really, there's been an immense amount of activity. I think our hosted buyer program is really great for those who are engaged in it. The investor startup area, our funding founders lounge, if anybody's seeking funding or they are an investor looking to meet, you can either structure meetings or you can just come and network and have a cup of coffee. But to me, it's just an incredible opportunity to bring the community together. And then, next thing you know, we're going to be planning for health.
So we said networking, funding founders, the hosted buyer meetings,
content.
Content. Yeah, well, of course, content. Well, that's not part of the show floor. You have content and the exhibitors and sponsors on the show floor.
That's right. That's for sure. Amazing. Jody, I'm going to end this off with you. What are some of the most frequently asked questions you're getting about ViVE that our listeners can, benefit from hearing the answers, on this stage?
Yeah. Well, Nancy covered one before, just how you can watch the sessions back on demand after they happen live. So don't worry about trying to catch everything going on. It's almost impossible. You can watch it all back on demand for several months after the event. We also, last year, we had our Chime stage only available to Chime members, but this year we've opened it up so all attendees can attend these Chime curated sessions. So that's something new for this year. And then another thing is just kind of when should I arrive and when should I leave? We highly encourage that everyone come on Sunday. We have great partner programming going on during the day, our amazing Good Night at ViVE welcome reception on Sunday night, and then stay through Wednesday afternoon if you can, because we have some amazing content happening on Wednesday. And I think actually Wednesday is where you can find probably the most serendipitous connections in the expo hall. It's a little less crowded, so it'll be a perfect time to meet anyone you didn't get to meet in the previous 3 days.
Amazing. And I guess to end this off, let's talk 2024. I got the email about 2024 already, but Nancy, do you want to share a bit about, what's in store for next year?
Yeah, we're going to LA. So we're going to California, which will change up the dynamics. I think it'll make it really interesting. We have a ton of partners and friends already in the California region who are super excited to hear that ViVE's coming to LA. So we're looking forward to planning that. It's a much more, it's a larger venue, and it's really going to allow us to do some really interesting things. And there's some incredible activations we could do sort of in the venues just outside of the LA Convention Center. So we're really looking forward to it. But they've really enhanced the whole downtown area. It's incredible how it's changed over the last 5 to 10 years. So we're really excited about it.
Wow, us too. So we can choose our booth already, right?
You can. Yes, you can.
Right.
And if customers want to sign up now, we certainly welcome to do so. And it's sort of a 30-day, no pressure commitment. So people do like to plan ahead. And a lot of our companies, I always look at I tell people it's our community. It's not just an event. And so it's sort of like, what's your long-term plan? And because we are a community, some people like to plan ahead. So if they want to, great. And if they don't want to, there's no pressure. We're just here to sort of support in any way people would like to activate for 2020.
Got it. Okay, well, let's wish us all a successful and fun ViVE 2023 and 2024 and beyond, and for this community to grow. And I want to thank you, busy ladies, for taking the time out of your day to join me. And let's take one, high five selfie for the 5 things to look forward to at ViVE. Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Wait,
yes.
Nancy, I can't see your hand. Pull your hand.
Yes.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much.
How cool are we,
ladies in Nashville? So cool.
Thank you for listening to Patient Journey Pioneers, brought to you by Hyro. Subscribe to our podcast on your favorite listening platform. See you on our next episode.